Hi, my name is Regina Brandow, and today I'm going to be talking about elder care and the eligibility to access certain benefits and how to plan properly for long-term care. Unfortunately, what we don't know about long-term care is many of us will need it. Statistics show 70% of us will need some sort of long-term care. None of us want to plan for long-term care, but you have to plan for long-term care. No one wants to go into the nursing home, and that's why you do a long-term care plan, so to prevent you from going into the nursing home. There are wonderful options available for seniors that you may not know about that will keep you in your home, keep your mother or father in your home, whoever that loved one will be, and it will be safe and they will get the services that you may need. Why planning for long-term care is so important? Obviously, it's the cost of care. I've heard of aides coming into the house where you pay privately more than $30 per hour. And if you need several hours per day, several days per week, that could be astronomical. What families don't realize is as I grow older, I am going to have growing needs. I need to plan for myself growing old, and you need to be proactive about that planning. Obviously, there's some simple steps that you don't need an attorney for. Let's make your house safe. You could put in grab bars in the bathroom and so on. If this is your home that you want to stay in, maybe you take that some of that money that you've invested for yourself, a little nest egg, and use some of it to make that bathroom or kitchen safe for you, and also walking steps going into the house. First thing I do is when I look at a house, if I'm on the market, I look out how many steps I need to climb to get into the door. If I need to climb a series of steps, it's going to be a strike for me. So as senior citizens, we are going to have growing needs, and you need to plan around it. And part of that planning is involving Medicaid asset protection planning. That's what I do. I'm an attorney, and I do some planning with families, with the individual. They direct the plan. It's their plan. And I prepare a trust where the person will put in what assets they want to put in, what individuals they want to assist them with, and the ability for you to change your trustees. That's very important for individuals like us who are coming up to an age where we need to put a plan in place. There's a certain amount of control and autonomy that should be given to each of us. And at Brandow Law, we respect that, and we want to make sure that that plan is put in place that you're comfortable with. So what's important for you to realize is, why do we put these plans in place and trusts in place? You may not realize it, but Medicaid has a look-back period. For nursing home, and none of us prepare for a nursing home or want to go into a nursing home. I don't want to go into a nursing home, but I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to be ready just in case the last few months of my life I do have to go in because it's not safe at home. So with nursing home chronic Medicaid, it's called, there's currently a 5-year look-back period. That means Medicaid is going to be looking at all the assets that are transferred out of my name. They will do a forensic accounting on my tax returns, my bank statements, and my holdings, be it a home, if you have a second home, a vacation home. So what we do at Brandow Law is we do that forensic accounting for you and with you. And then we target what assets need to be put in place in the trust so that way you still get to enjoy your assets while protecting that for a legacy. Now, some of you may not realize is New York came out with a new look-back period for community Medicaid, and that is at-home care. And that is up to 2.5 years. So it's really more important than ever for those families that are thinking about, maybe I need a little assistance, not now, but next year or 2 years because I have a chronic condition, that you sit down and you meet with an elder law attorney that can help you identify, again, those assets. You're still in your home. You're still paying the exemptions on the real property. You're still enjoying the benefits of your retirement assets and so on. Why is it so important to do that Medicaid Asset Protection Trust or any type of elder law planning? Estate recovery. So if I leave assets in my name and I need to go for Medicaid services, what people don't realize is Medicaid can and will put a lien on my house, put a lien on my estate. So what we try to do here at Brandow Law is let's not leave an estate, and let's be planful where I get to stay in my house, I get the benefit of my backyard, of my bedroom that I'm comfortable in, and I know I've taken that asset, the value of that asset, and I protected it for my family, and I protected it against Medicaid estate recovery. So other types of documents that we usually plan for individuals are power of attorney, healthcare proxy, and a living will. Those are considered advanced directives. I believe everyone in the state of New York should have an advanced directive. I could leave this presentation right now, get into a car, and suffer a traumatic brain injury. And I need someone to step in my shoes, pay my bills, even perhaps apply for governmental benefits for me. I do not want my family to be at guardianship court, at Supreme Court. I'm a selfish person. I want my family to be at my bedside, maybe wiping my brow a little bit, holding my hand. I don't want them to be at court. I've been there. And it is the statute, how it's prepared, and it's protecting those individuals. You know, if someone wanted to file a guardianship against, it's protecting that individual, but because of those protections, it's very labor intensive and very costly. So when we sit down with you, we're going to review who are those agents that you want to act on your behalf. Those agents, when they act on your behalf, have to be obviously trustworthy, respectful of boundaries. This is mom's money, this isn't my money, this is dad's money, this isn't my money, and not entitled people. Entitled people are probably the scariest people on earth, and maybe we actually have them. We spawned them as children. And the entitled person may be someone that will say, I went to the bank for my mother and it was raining, there was a long line, and I think she wants me to have this $2,000. You don't want that entitled person to be in charge. And we will sit down with you and we will review that. It's really important for you to do this now while you're capable. And a lot of people, for some reason, are hesitant about that. And the other side is, if you don't plan, the other side is just a messy, nasty scenario where I've been there, where I've met dad and mom, and they couldn't even answer who their loved ones were. When I asked them questions, I couldn't even supervise an advance directive. And in those circumstances, that family is looking at a guardianship petition with the court, and that could be very costly and time-consuming. So sometimes it's really hard for the individual to recognize it, and sometimes well-meaning children will assist their parents in helping them. But again, it's really important to have that person engaged, and they would be willing to make that plan in place. Sometimes it's not easy to have mom and dad at the table. At Brandow Law, what we try to do is be respectful of their wishes, so for them not to feel threatened that anything is being taken away and that they're still in charge. And we describe to them why it's necessary. A lot of you may have questions as to what Medicare pays versus what Medicaid pays for. So Medicare is for medical type of expenses. Medicare is a wonderful medical insurance available for those who are over 65 or on Social Security disability. But Medicare will not pay for those aids and services that come to my house. That's when we do need Medicaid. And in order to qualify for Medicaid, Brandow Law does a Medicaid application on your behalf. In order to do that, we gather all the assets, we disclose on the application form all the assets, the income, and we will strategize beforehand to make you Medicaid eligible. So you might have some assets that if we could transfer to a spouse for exempt transfers or a disabled adult child, we are going to take advantage of every exemption available for you, every scenario, so you are still protecting your assets, providing a legacy, and getting the care and services that you need in your home. We're also very familiar with veterans benefits. Veterans benefits are very important for you, and they do play a role in long-term care planning. So it's important for those veterans out there to really dig out that discharge document, the DD-214, and when you meet with us, share that DD-214, and we work with a veteran liaison officer that will tell you or tell us together what kind of benefits would be available. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, it's so important for you to have options available and what roads are best suited for you. So some people may choose, an option where they don't exhaust Medicaid benefits, they'll go for the VA benefits, or vice versa. So it's very important. Some of you may have long-term care insurance already, and you're paying out of pocket. Now, you might come to the point where the premiums are going up, and what do? Do I continue to pay for long-term care insurance, or do I take advantage of Medicaid? And obviously, we'll do the cost analysis for you and determine if the long-term care insurance, if you wanted to keep that as a premium to continue to pay that, or you could discontinue that and necessarily apply for Medicaid benefits. So the critical issue about asset protection planning, I would consider it is almost like a long-term care insurance in itself. So that means I get to stay in my home, I get the services, and I'm not paying for it. Medicaid is paying for it. I mentioned before being proactive about planning. I mentioned about the look-back period, 5 years for chronic, 2.5 years for community Medicaid, which will be rolling out in 2021. Now, what happens in those circumstances if the transfer was within the 5-year or 2.5 years? Obviously, there are strategies available that we take advantage to unwind the transfer penalty with Department of Social Services and gain back some sort of value of that asset that was transferred. But the important part is not to wait for that, because that I consider crisis planning. Crisis planning, you're already concerned about your level of care or your mom or dad's level of care. And then on top of it, you are concerned about the penalty periods with the Department of Social Services. So mom and dad may have gifted out monies, and during that 5-year look-back period, and that has incurred a penalty. Here at Brandow Law is we sit down, we try to strategize with you as to what options could be available to assist you in minimizing that penalty period. Because what will happen is Department of Social Services will issue a penalty period on the value of the asset. And that means you would have to pay out of pocket for a nursing home. So we are very familiar with transfers and exemptions, and also a strategy called promissory note. And that is available under the Medicaid rules. We always provide representation in accordance with the statute and the guidelines. So that way we are not risking your application in applying for Department of Social Services benefits. So some key issues about Medicaid. In order to qualify for Medicaid, you need to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident alien. And you should also be aware of joint assets. A joint asset is always considered the full, if you have a joint asset with another individual, with mom, Medicaid will consider the full value of that asset on the Medicaid applicant. So other assets that you should think about are life insurance. Life insurance policies, some of those life insurance policies have a cash value, and that could prohibit mom and dad and or your loved one from getting those services because they've accrued such a cash value that's available to them that would prevent them for services. That's why I really like proactive planning, not crisis planning, because sometimes to unwind these assets and to transfer it, we always are dealing with another third-party institution, the life insurance company, the bank, a financial institution, and sometimes they have requirements in transferring assets and what form has to be filled out and how it's signed and how it can be submitted and so on. So eliminate some of that stress and try to come in and speak with a elder care attorney, hopefully me, but if it's not me, please sit down with a qualified Medicaid elder law attorney who is familiar with Medicaid asset limits, the exemptions, someone who's familiar with the trust, very familiar with all the implications of the trust. I'm not an accountant, but obviously we generate letters of instructions about working with your accountant if you have one. So to eliminate that level of concern that you may have in some of these transfers. Okay, so again, for Medicaid eligibility standards, there's an asset limitation, and then there's income limitations, and sometimes there will be an overage, and we have to talk about a pooled trust. A pooled trust is almost like another bank account for that monthly overage that goes into. So Medicaid for 2020, their income threshold is $875. So mom and dad have Social Security of $1,500 and a pension of $1,500. Their income is $3,000. So that means anything $3,000 minus $875 is considered their overage. So what we help families with, or individuals, so that you can get Medicaid, is we put that income, we shelter it into a pooled trust. And it's almost like a bank account. It goes in the month, and the same month, that bank account is going to be paying that Medicaid applicant's bills. It could be their PSEG account. It could be their rent. It could be their subscriptions and so on. But the whole idea of the pooled trust is that it is available to pay for the Medicaid applicant's bills, not someone else's. It's not going to pay for their granddaughter's recital, or ballerina lessons, but it will pay for the Medicaid applicants' bills that are in their name. At Brandow Law, we help you through that process, and we will guide you through what pool trust companies that we have worked with and who are responsive to you and who will give you those reimbursements on a timely basis. A lot of you need that income to continue to pay those bills so you can stay in your home. So I don't want you to be concerned that your income will go away. It does come back, and the pool trust company will pay that cable bill, will pay PSEG and telephone bills for you. In summary, you're going to have to plan for long-term care. It is going to be very costly. You also want to have a long-term care plan put in place that is comfortable for you. And those of you who are interested in the community Medicaid, which is care at the home, there is a wonderful program, and it's called CPAP and CDPAP program. And what's nice about that is you can, through Medicaid, you can hire friends and family members that could provide services for you. And sometimes that's very important for individuals because they want to know who's coming into the house and so on. So if you're interested in the at-home care and the CDPAP program, please give us a call. So in summary, I think it's important because the long-term care costs are going up, and you may not be able to afford to stay in your home because to keep you in your home safe, you may need assistance with the activities of daily living, cooking, some light cleaning, helping you get in the shower, helping you get out of the shower. So if you want to stay in your home, it's important for you to do some proactive long-term care planning. Please contact us at Brandow Law. We can meet in person if you like. We will have our masks up. We could meet over the telephone. We could meet by Zoom, whatever is your comfort level. And at the end of this presentation, we'll have some contact information for you so you can look at. And please feel free to go to our website. We do have some information up there that you might find helpful. Thank you.